Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about confidence. The kind that doesn't waver when life throws a curveball. The kind that stands tall even when the world tries to shake it. Confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. It's a muscle, a skill, a fire that burns within you. And today I want to share 3 powerful secrets to help you cultivate the kind of confidence that is unshakable. Imagine walking into a room and knowing deep in your soul that you belong there. Not because you have all the answers, not because you're the smartest or the most experienced, but because you trust yourself. That's the first secret, self-trust. Confidence isn't about never failing, it's about knowing that even if you do, you'll rise again. Too often we look outside for validation, waiting for someone to tell us we're enough. But real confidence is built in the quiet moments when no one is watching, when you keep promises to yourself, when you show up even when it's hard, when you choose to believe in yourself despite the noise of doubt. Then comes the second secret, action. So many people wait for confidence before they take action, but here's the truth. Action comes first, confidence follows. You don't wake up one day suddenly feeling fearless. You build fearlessness by doing the thing that scares you, by stepping forward despite the uncertainty. Think about it. When you first learned to drive, were you confident? No. You were nervous, unsure, maybe even terrified. But you kept going. And with every turn, every stoplight, every mile, confidence grew. The same rule applies to life. Confidence isn't a prerequisite, it's a reward for showing up. And then there's the final secret, the way you speak to yourself. If the voice in your head is your biggest critic, it's time to fire that voice and hire a new one. Words have power, and the words you tell yourself shape your reality. Stop saying, I'm not ready, I'm not good enough, what if I fail? And start saying, I am learning, I am growing, I am becoming. The world will try to define you, but confidence comes from deciding who you are before the world does. It's choosing to stand in your worth, not because someone else said so, but because you believe it. Confidence isn't given, it's earned. It's built in the moments when you trust yourself, when you take action, even in fear, and when you speak to yourself with the kindness and strength you deserve. So go ahead, walk into that room, take that chance, chase that dream. The world doesn't give confidence to those who wait. It rewards those who dare. Confidence is not something we inherit at birth, like the color of our eyes or the shape of our hands. It is something we build, something we shape with our own hands, our own choices, our own courage. It is not a gift given to a chosen few. It is a skill crafted through experience, effort, and an unshakable belief in ourselves. And just like any skill, the more you work on it, the stronger it becomes. Think of it like a muscle. If you never exercise it, it remains weak, untested, and hesitant. But the moment you push yourself beyond your comfort zone, when you do something that scares you, when you take a step forward despite the voice of doubt, that muscle strengthens. Confidence is built in those tiny moments of bravery. When you speak up in a room full of people, when you dare to dream beyond what others think is possible, when you refuse to shrink yourself just to fit into someone else's version of who you should be. We often look at people who radiate confidence and assume they were simply born that way, but that's a lie we tell ourselves to avoid the hard truth. Confidence is earned. It is sculpted from failures, disappointments, and the willingness to try again. The most powerful people in the world were not always fearless. They simply refused to let fear make their decisions for them. They showed up even when they felt unprepared. They took action even when they doubted themselves. They learned to trust their own voice even when the world questioned them. Imagine how different your life would be if you stopped waiting to feel ready. What if instead of waiting for confidence to magically appear, you started creating it? What if you embraced the discomfort of growth, knowing that every awkward, uncertain step forward is shaping you into someone unstoppable? The truth is, confidence does not come from perfection, it comes from persistence. It is not found in the absence of fear, but in the decision to move forward anyway. So stop looking outside for permission to believe in yourself. Start now, take the risk, trust yourself. Confidence is not waiting for you to find it, it is waiting for you to build it. The strongest foundation of unshakable confidence is self-trust, the ability to rely on yourself, to believe that no matter what happens, you will figure it out. Without self-trust, confidence is just an illusion, a mask that crumbles the moment doubt creeps in. But when you trust yourself, when you truly believe that you are capable, worthy, and resilient, confidence stops being something you chase and becomes something you embody. So many people walk through life looking for validation, waiting for someone to tell them they are good enough, smart enough, deserving enough. But what if you stopped waiting? What if instead of seeking approval, you decided that your own belief in yourself was enough? The world will always have opinions about you. Some will lift you, others will try to break you. But self-trust is the anchor that keeps you steady in the storm. It's the quiet knowing that even if no one else claps for you, you will still show up for yourself. Self-trust is built in the small, silent moments when no one is watching. It's built when you follow through on your promises, when you push past your fears, when you honor your own dreams instead of shrinking them to fit into someone else's expectations. It grows every time you prove to yourself that you are capable. Every decision, every risk, every time you stand up for yourself, you are strengthening that trust. And the stronger that trust becomes, the less you need the world to validate you. Imagine if you spoke to yourself the way you would to someone you love. Imagine if, instead of questioning your abilities, you reminded yourself of all the times you've overcome challenges, all the moments when you thought you couldn't but did anyway. Confidence is not about never feeling doubt. It's about knowing that even when doubt whispers in your ear, your belief in yourself is louder. You will never fully control how the world sees you, but you will always control how you see yourself. And that is the greatest power of all, because when you trust yourself, when you truly stand in your own worth, no setback, no failure, no criticism can shake you. Confidence doesn't start with applause. It starts with the quiet, unshakable decision to believe in yourself first. The moment you stop seeking validation from the world is the moment you set yourself free. Too often, we measure our worth by the applause we receive, by the approval of others, by the number of people who tell us we are good enough. But what if no one clapped? What if no one told you that you were worthy? Would you still believe in yourself? True confidence is not built on external validation. It is built on the unwavering belief that you are enough, without needing anyone else to confirm it. The world will always have an opinion about you. Some people will lift you up, others will try to tear you down. Some will celebrate your success, others will question your every move. If you spend your life trying to be what others expect, you will always be chasing approval, and in that chase, you will lose yourself. But the moment you realize that validation is an inside job, everything changes. You stop shrinking yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. You stop waiting for permission to dream bigger. You stop looking outside for something that has always been within you. Confidence is not about pleasing the world. It is about standing in your truth even when it makes others uncomfortable. It is about knowing who you are even when the world tries to tell you differently. You will never be for everyone, and that is your power. The people who truly matter will recognize your worth not because you seek their approval, but because you own who you are without apology. Think about the most powerful, confident people in the world. They are not confident because everyone loves them. They are confident because they do not need everyone to love them. They do not wait for permission to be bold, to take risks, to chase what sets their soul on fire. They know that external validation is fleeting, but self-belief is unshakable. If you want true confidence, stop looking for it in the eyes of others. Look within, stand in front of a mirror and remind yourself that you are already enough. Remind yourself that your worth is not up for debate. Remind yourself that the only validation you truly need is your own, because the moment you decide that your belief in yourself is more powerful than anyone's approval, that is the moment you become unstoppable. Most people wait for confidence to arrive like a sudden spark of magic, as if one day they'll wake up fearless, ready to take on the world. But here's the truth, confidence doesn't come before action, it comes from action. You don't wake up one day suddenly feeling ready. You become ready by stepping forward, by doing the things that scare you, by proving to yourself that you are capable. Confidence is not the prerequisite, it is the reward. Think about a time when you tried something new. Maybe it was speaking in front of a crowd, taking on a challenging project, or stepping into an unfamiliar space. Were you confident the first time? Probably not. You felt nervous, unsure, maybe even terrified. But the more you did it, the more natural it became. Confidence is built in the doing, not in the waiting. The mistake most people make is believing that they need to feel confident before they can take action. But the reality is, confidence is earned through experience, through repetition, through showing up even when you don't feel ready. If you wait for the perfect moment, you will be waiting forever. If you wait until you are fearless, you will never begin. Fear doesn't disappear, you just learn to move forward despite it. The people who seem the most confident in life are not the ones who were born with some special gift. They are the ones who took action despite their doubts. They understood that courage comes first and confidence follows. They dared to step forward even when they weren't sure of the outcome. Think of a child learning to walk. They don't wait until they are confident to take their first step. They try, they fall, they get back up. And each time they become stronger, steadier, more sure of themselves. That's exactly how confidence works. You don't sit and wait for it. You take a step, you stumble, you learn, you grow, and before you know it, you are walking, running. So stop telling yourself that you need more time, that you need to be more prepared, that you need to feel ready. You don't. Take the leap, say yes to the opportunities, speak up when your voice shakes, step into the unknown. Because the moment you take action, you are already becoming the confident person you've been waiting to be. Confidence is not built in a single moment. It is shaped through repetition, through the courage to show up again and again. It is not something you master overnight, but something you refine every time you push past discomfort. The first time you try anything new, you will feel uncertain. You will second guess yourself. You will wonder if you belong. But the secret to confidence is not in waiting for that uncertainty to disappear. It is in showing up anyway, knowing that with every attempt you are getting stronger. Think about the first time you tried to ride a bicycle. You didn't just hop on and glide effortlessly. You wobbled, you fell, you doubted yourself. But did you quit? No, you got back on. And with every fall, every shaky ride, every attempt, you built skill, you built familiarity, you built confidence. Life works the same way. The first time you step into something new, a career, a stage, a challenge, you won't feel invincible. But confidence is not about the first step. It is about taking the second, the third, and the 100th until one day you realize you are no longer afraid. Repetition is what turns fear into familiarity. The more you expose yourself to what scares you, the less power it has over you. The first time you speak up in a meeting, your voice may shake. The second time, it may still feel uncomfortable. But by the 10th time, you realize that you are no longer hesitating, no longer questioning whether you belong. Confidence is not a feeling, it is a habit. The people you admire, the ones who seem fearless, are not immune to doubt. They have simply conditioned themselves to push through it. They have faced fear so many times that it no longer dictates their choices. Every great performer, every powerful leader, every successful person you see has gone through this process. They did not wake up with unshakable confidence. They built it through repetition. They faced rejection, failure, uncertainty. But instead of stopping, they kept going. And somewhere along the way, confidence became the new normal. So if you are waiting to feel confident before you start, stop waiting. Take the first step, even if it feels messy. Keep moving forward, even if it feels uncomfortable. Because confidence is not a moment of magic. It is the result of showing up again and again until fear no longer stands in your way. Confidence is not about never failing. It is about knowing that even if you do, you will rise again. Failure is not the opposite of confidence. It is part of the journey to building it. The people who exude the most unshakable confidence are not those who have never fallen. They are the ones who have fallen countless times but refuse to stay down. Every setback, every rejection, every misstep is not a signal to stop. It is a lesson, a stepping stone, a test of how much you truly believe in yourself. We are conditioned to fear failure, to see it as a mark of inadequacy. But in reality, failure is proof that you are trying, growing, evolving. Think about a child learning to walk. Do they fall? Of course. Do they stop? Never. Because they don't see failure as a reason to quit. They see it as part of the process. Somewhere along the way, we forget this. We start believing that mistakes define us, that setbacks mean we are not good enough. But the truth is, failure does not break confidence. Our response to it does. If you treat failure as an ending, your confidence will always be fragile, dependent on perfection. But if you see it as a beginning, as a lesson, as an invitation to rise stronger, nothing can shake you. The most successful people in the world are not those who never failed. They are those who kept going despite it. They were rejected, they were told no, they faced doors slamming in their faces, but they did not let failure define them. Instead, they learned from it. They used it. They turned every no into fuel for their next move. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not talent, not luck, not intelligence. It is the willingness to fail and keep moving forward. Imagine if you stopped fearing failure. Imagine if instead of seeing it as something to avoid, you saw it as proof that you are pushing yourself beyond your limits. What if every setback was just redirection? What if every time you stumbled, you reminded yourself that confidence is not built in success alone, it is built in how you rise after failure. The truth is, you will never build unshakable confidence if you let fear of failure hold you back. The only real failure is never trying at all. So fall, rise, repeat, because every time you do, you are becoming unstoppable. The way you speak to yourself shapes the way you see yourself. Confidence is not just about what you do, it is about what you believe about yourself, and that belief is built, reinforced, or broken by the words you tell yourself every single day. You cannot expect to feel confident if your inner dialogue is filled with doubt, self-criticism, and fear. The loudest voice in your life should be your own, and it should be the voice that lifts you, not the one that tears you down. Imagine if you had a friend who constantly told you that you weren't good enough, that you were bound to fail, that you didn't deserve success. Would you still want to be around them? Probably not. And yet so many of us allow our own minds to speak to us this way. We repeat our insecurities, replay our past mistakes, and doubt our abilities before we even begin. But confidence cannot grow in a mind that is constantly feeding it reasons to shrink. The way you speak to yourself is either building you up or breaking you down, and the choice is entirely yours. Your thoughts are powerful. Every time you tell yourself you are not ready, not good enough, not capable, you reinforce that belief. But what if you started rewriting that script? What if instead of saying, "I can't do this," you said, "I will figure this out"? What if instead of focusing on what could go wrong, you reminded yourself of all the times you have already overcome? Confidence is not about ignoring your fears. It is about refusing to let them control the narrative of your life. It is about choosing thoughts that empower you rather than limit you. The mind believes what it is told repeatedly. If you feed it doubt, it will give you hesitation. If you feed it belief, it will give you confidence. The people who radiate confidence are not necessarily the ones who have never struggled with self-doubt. They are simply the ones who refuse to let that doubt have the final say. They have trained their minds to support them, to remind them of their strength rather than their fears. So be intentional about the way you speak to yourself. Talk to yourself like someone you love. Be kind, be encouraging. Be your own greatest source of belief, because the words you choose today will shape the confidence you carry tomorrow. And when your mind is on your side, nothing can stand in your way. Confidence is not just about how you see yourself, it is also about who you surround yourself with. The people in your life either fuel your belief in yourself or drain it. If you want to build unshakable confidence, you must be intentional about the energy you allow around you. You cannot expect to grow if you are constantly surrounded by people who belittle your dreams, question your potential, or make you doubt yourself. The voices you listen to become the thoughts you think, and the thoughts you think shape the person you become. Think about the people in your life. Do they inspire you, challenge you, push you to be better? Or do they plant seeds of doubt, making you second-guess yourself at every step? Confidence is contagious. When you are around people who believe in themselves, who take bold risks, who encourage you to do the same, you start to absorb that mindset. But if you surround yourself with negativity, with people who stay small and expect you to do the same, your confidence will always be at war with the limitations they place on you. It is not selfish to protect your energy. It is not unkind to walk away from those who make you feel small. You are allowed to outgrow people who refuse to grow with you. You are allowed to seek out friendships, mentors, and communities that lift you, that remind you of your worth, that celebrate your ambition instead of making you feel guilty for it. The truth is, confidence thrives in the right environment. If you plant a seed in toxic soil, it will struggle to grow. But if you plant it where it is nurtured, where it is watered with belief, it will flourish. So choose wisely. Choose people who remind you of your strength when you forget it. Choose conversations that inspire you instead of ones that drain you. Choose relationships that challenge you to rise instead of ones that keep you stuck. Because confidence is not just about what is inside you, it is also about what is around you. And when you surround yourself with the right people, you don't just build confidence, you build a life where self-belief is no longer something you fight for, but something that comes naturally. Confidence is not about reaching a final destination, it is a journey, an evolution, a lifelong commitment to growth. The moment you believe you have mastered confidence is the moment you stop growing. True confidence is not about being the best, it is about constantly becoming better. It is about knowing that you are always a work in progress, that there is always room to evolve, to learn, to expand. Many people mistake confidence for arrogance, but they are not the same. Arrogance is the belief that you already know everything, that you have nothing left to improve. Confidence, on the other hand, is the quiet assurance that you are capable of learning anything, adapting to any challenge, and growing through any experience. It is the humility to admit that you do not have all the answers, but the courage to seek them anyway. The most confident people in the world are not those who believe they are perfect. They're the ones who embrace imperfection, who see mistakes as lessons, who are not afraid to step into the unknown. They do not let fear of failure stop them, because they understand that every setback is an opportunity to rise stronger. They do not resist change, because they know that growth requires discomfort. They do not cling to certainty because they recognize that confidence is built in moments of uncertainty. Imagine what your life would look like if you embraced growth instead of fearing it. If you stopped waiting to feel ready and started trusting that you will figure it out along the way. If you saw challenges not as threats, but as invitations to become even more capable, more resilient, more powerful. Confidence does not come from knowing everything. It comes from trusting that you can handle whatever comes your way. So never stop growing, never stop challenging yourself, never settle for the version of you that exists today when you know there is a greater version waiting to be discovered. Confidence is not about standing still. It is about moving forward, about stepping boldly into the unknown with the unshakable belief that you are always becoming something greater. Because the moment you commit to growth, confidence stops being something you chase. It becomes something you carry with you always. Confidence is not something you are born with. It is something you build, something you nurture, something you choose every single day. It is not a gift reserved for a select few. It is a muscle, a mindset, a habit that anyone can develop if they are willing to do the work. The truth is, confidence does not come from perfection, nor does it come from external validation. It comes from within, from the way you speak to yourself, the actions you take, the resilience you cultivate, and the growth you embrace. Life will test your confidence in ways you never expected. There will be days when doubt whispers louder than belief, when failure tries to convince you to shrink instead of rise. But confidence is not about never feeling afraid. It is about moving forward despite it. It is about standing tall even when the world tries to knock you down. It is about trusting yourself even when the path ahead is uncertain. You will not always feel ready. You will not always have all the answers. But confidence is not built on certainty. It is built on action. The more you show up for yourself, the more you prove to yourself that you are capable, that you are worthy, that you belong. The people who inspire us, who seem unshakable, are not without fear. They have simply made a decision to believe in themselves no matter what. So make that decision. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for someone else to tell you that you are enough. You already are. Your confidence is not in the hands of the world, it is in your hands. And the moment you choose to own your power, to trust your voice, to step boldly into the life you deserve, that is the moment you become unstoppable.